I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
But you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with the smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with the smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating ass, it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, just, it's a weird one, I think.
And I know you want me to toss your salad too, don't you? All right, on that note.
What are you saying, bro? You are.
Stop, bro! Stop, bro, help me and stop!
All right, well, let's see how this works out. Am I freezing yet?
Derek, I told you need to upgrade from dial-up, man. Your kids just come by, they pick up the phone, and all of a sudden you're kicked off every single time.
You know, this thing where you make jokes about when I'm having an bad interconnection today, they just don't work with me. They really piss me off even more. Because there's nothing I find more annoying than having an internet issue when I'm paying almost fucking $200, over $200 a month for Xfinity.
For internet and cable.
Yes. It's irritating as fuck.
If you're doing that for just internet.
Yeah. Anyhow, it's fucking annoying. So hopefully you can see me and I can move and it's okay. Right? It's okay so far?
Good enough.
Good enough? What the fuck does that mean? Good enough.
You look like we're watching you with our own dial-up internet, and it's, you know.
Oh, great. Fantastic. So it's like watching Pete's show lately.
It says get AT&T fiber. That stuff's not offered everywhere, man.
It's not, and we've never had this problem. Not in the recent, 2 years. I have never had a day like
not
this.
storming in Indy right now. The rain has passed.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Suck my dick time to fucking Xfinity is what I would refer to it as.
Alex got it right. He goes, it's all good. We can hear you.
All right. Well, that's a start. I'm going to pour my beer, which tonight, by the way, Brett, is an experimental thing. Okay. This is a brand new. It's not like they sponsor us, but they sure as fuck should.
Taxman?
It's a brand new Taxman. Okay. This is what they call their raspberry ginger exemption. And I love ginger. I hope the raspberry's not real strong. But it's a Belgian-style triple ale with fruit and spices. Registering it at 8.5%. Yeah, not bad.
Taxman likes those high numbers, don't they?
Yeah. So I'm going to taste it right now and give you my my thought. It doesn't come in super red. It's still pretty brown.
It looks pretty red over here, but that could just be a brownish color.
I mean, it's mostly brownish with a little red. I'm hoping for some ginger. I'm really looking forward to some ginger. Not lawless ginger in the beer.
Yeah, PT says gingers have no souls.
I know people were going to go there. Derek is recording on a potato. Guys, I'm just having a bad internet day. So I don't know why.
So it was funny because you're sitting there drinking like this, and it was like frozen like this, and you're talking the entire time.
Yeah,
it was like some kind of magic trick.
Oh God!
Watch me sing while I drink.
Let me see if I can turn off the VPN if that makes any difference. Because in the past that has made a difference. God damn it. Open up, you piece of shit. I hope it's just not my whole computer going to crap.
Streaming from 2002.
Yeah.
Get off the phone. I'm on the internet. Man, that was always the best. When you knew siblings were on the internet and you're like, just fuck with them by picking up the phone. And
oh, fuck.
I can hear you still. And
you can hear me, but uh-oh.
This is a different type of fluff, guys.
Oh, great. All right, great, fantastic. It just got worse. Okay. All right, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, you're good. I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So anyhow, we'll let you. I guess I'm just frozen most of the time on the screen, which is
sorry. Everybody comes here to look at me, anyways.
I know you're such a pretty man. Hey, congratulations to Rory McIlroy for winning the Masters. It was the only tournament he couldn't really win, and now he's won it. Good for him. Want to shout out to Jesse Wells, who I think seems to be like the next Bob Dylan. If you haven't seen any music by Jesse Wells, go check him out on YouTube. I never heard of the guy until like a week ago. And everything I've watched, I've been extremely impressed. And I like the complexity of his lyrics. I think he's really good. I'm not saying he's the next Bob Dylan, but he's the closest thing we've had in a long while. I think he's really good. Also, for the defeat of the appeal to authority thing that seems to be happening. Yeah, we've talked about this on this show all the time from people who are like, well, so-and-so said this, and they played. And you guys only played high school ball. So what do you fucking know? Well, fuck you. That's my basic.
That's what we know, right?
It doesn't mean that we can't comment on the sport, especially since we've covered it, well, combined for about 50 years. So I think we're allowed to have fucking opinion on something. We've been watching games nonstop for 50 years. We've talked to everybody in the business. We've had just about everybody that's been important, from Grant Wall, if you want to talk about journalists, all the way to U.S. men's national team players on this show. I think that qualifies us as having some sort of notion to talk about something. But I think Douglas Murray just took a big shit pile there on X for using the appeal to authority in that discussion on Joe's show, which I watched. I found pretty entertaining. Yeah, you can't use that. Oh, also, Pete, stop calling it Westerlo. It's been 3 or 4 times now. We love you, brother, but it's Westerlo. There's no 2 O's on that. There's Waterloo. Maybe that's what's confusing him, because we said,
I think so.
We said to him, now there is Waterloo, but that has 2 O's, right? That's also in Belgium. It's where the big battle was fought. But this is Westerlo. It only has 1 O. And by the way, for the 69 of you already here and already dealing with my unfathomable issues online here, where I'm probably freezing up every 5 minutes, but you can hear me. So we're just going to deal with it, and I'm going to go bitch to fucking Xfinity as soon as this is over. Also, there was that thing where they're talking about reviving. I don't know if you saw that, reviving Neanderthals. Anybody really want to do that? Anybody want a Neanderthal? Like, there's nothing wrong with Neanderthals. They're not the dumb, thick, idiot morons that they've been depicted as, right?
No, we actually had culture. They had a language.
They had a language. They buried their dead. They made pottery and jewelry, and we fucked them, right? And that's why they're in our DNA. So they couldn't have been that bad. And so, yeah. No, I don't think reviving a Neanderthal would be really cool, though.
The ladies must have been super fit, man. All they did was run around and eat meat, and
When you say eat meat,
yeah.
I think Encino Man Fumar was an actual human, modern human coming back as a caveman. A Neanderthal would be quite different. He'd be stocky, muscular, bigger brow, muscular as shit. Muscular as all get out.
They're made to wrestle bears.
But I mean, how good would that be of his life be if you brought a Neanderthal like you brought the dire wolf back, right? Okay, great. But you can't bring a Neanderthal back. He'd be a very lonely guy. He'd probably be a celebrity too, unless they locked him away. And but it would be, I'd be interested in it, but I just don't like that person would suffer. I think they would mostly suffer if we brought them back. Also, there's a team out there I learned because I've been tracking Argentinian football more closely lately. You both look like fuck you, PT69.
Derek's got 4%, guys.
No, I don't think I have much. It was untraceable, whatever it was when I took my DNA test. So, I'm sure it's something in there. There's got to be some hint of it, but because most of us have some of it in our DNA if you're from European descent. So who knows? I was just going to say there was also a team, speaking of morons, in Argentina, also called Deportivo Moron. I did not know that, and I'm sure it's pronounced Moron or Moron, but not moron. But I did not know this team until I started tracking the Argentinian league closer again because we've got Meljevic there, right? So there is a club Deportivo Moron out there. Good for them. I want a shirt. I want that kit. I would love to walk around with that. Some people, that'd be fitting. Yeah, fuck off. All right. So
that's not an original insult, by the way, when they say stuff like that.
No, it's not.
Like,
So
come on, you have time. Come up with something.
Yeah. So you know what? I think maybe U.S. Soccer is figuring out something, Brett, and we'll get to this later. But the consequences of making the core fan base, not the fan clubs who go to the games, but the core fan base that follows U.S. Soccer, making them disappointed, depressed, down, just kind of really negative right now. We're in the all-time. I thought we'd gotten to the all-time lows with Greg, but all the Greg supporters have just left, right? They're like gone. And most of them that stuck around are like, see, we suck. It's not because of Greg. And I think Pete put out a post, which was like, hey, this is the worst I've ever seen it. Yeah, it is. It's probably the worst I've ever seen it. But I hope U.S. Soccer realizes that if the core audience, the most hardcore of the hardcore, who have been following this team for 6 to 8 years because of this new generation, with all this positivity, they can't just ignore us anymore because they realize that the core is having an issue, that they're the biggest word on X. They're the biggest trackers on X. They're the biggest commentators on X. And that's going to lead the casuals or the mid-range or even the supporters groups to go, we're with you. We're bummed too. So you got to make the core happy. And we'll get into whether or not we're being too critical and we're being too depressed later. Right? But anyhow, I'll let you go on with the rest.
You just leapt into like a 5-minute spiel about a topic that was supposed to come later. So I'm like, okay, I guess we're going to talk about this now.
That's a great fuck it, Brett. I like that. Fuck it, Derek. You fucker. You brought it up.
I don't even know how it came up. All of a sudden you're talking about it, Want to talk about Coach being in Atlanta right now while we're at it?
Not yet, but yes. Why is there so little buzz about the 2026 World Cup? Well, a lot of reasons. We're not been very good. 2, mainstream media doesn't cover it. 3, mainstream sports media doesn't cover it. No one covers it. And U.S. Soccer's done a total shit job of talking about it because the way they put it out is soft. It's soft. It's not like, okay, yes, are things, not perfect? We get it. It's not perfect, but we're really hoping we can turn things around in this. But it's never that. It's always like, there's always sun shining over the valley, even though the valley is full of dying corn, cobs, and the plants are all dying, and the locusts are eating it. Now you got to acknowledge that the crop isn't perfect right now, but hey, we're think we're going to get back to where we need to be. Hang in there with us. It's all we need. A little encouragement, but without the fluff, without the fluffing. I don't need to be fluffed. I don't need bullshit. I don't need you to ignore it. That's the problem. Too much ignoring it.
Well, we need to stop treating this like it's a kid's game and start treating it like we do with any other sport in this fucking country. people are always like, "Oh, you guys are being too toxic. You're being too toxic. You shouldn't be saying that this person's not good enough for this team." What other sport have you guys watched where you don't have a fan base, you don't have pundits saying this guy is just not good enough? You know, this person needs to be swapped out. He needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
You know, it's we need to take the gloves off, guys. We're, some of us have lived our entire lives in that upward trajectory. At some point, we got to look at ourselves and say, hey, we're big boys too. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about Brett and I, we've been wanting starting in the 80s. The trajectory for the U.S. men's national team has always been upwards. Okay? And then in 2018, we went, whoopsie, and we went down. Mm-hmm. And then we thought, okay, now the whole new big generation's coming in, so we're going to go back up again. Well, not really. We kind of stagnated on the straight line with a few blips up, then a couple blips down, and then back up, and then back down. We can't do that anymore. You're getting too close to the World Cup. Everybody's got to get their shit together.
Well, and the problem is that we as a nation, a sporting nation here, has hyped up this current generation. And I'm not saying that they're not warranted for the hype. They've earned a lot of what's come their way. However, it's almost like, to an extent, the bulk of us are just overprotective on certain things instead of calling it what it is. How often do you ever see anybody outside of on Twitter bag on say Pulisic when he tries to play hero ball?
I mean, you're starting
to hear a little bit of it from the independents out here, even going as far as say like Ronaldo or Jimmy.
Lawless too.
Lawless is bringing it up now too. But I mean, that should be the topic. Yes, the team played like shit, but a lot of the issues. Then when we start playing like shit, you have, in this case, I'm bringing this up as an example. Pulisic decides he needs to put the team on his shoulder and tries to do too much. And then it just makes us look to more shit at that point.
And it's not just Pulisic.
It's not just Pulisic, no.
Yeah,
I'm using it as an example of as this there are people who will, bag on him and, touch him, but he's this player that none shall touch. It's just sort of like he's the golden boy, right?
Yeah. And the hype buildup was probably too much, too fast. And when you pump something up that fast, then when it sags on you, like a giant cock in a porn, and you're thinking you're going to be filming the greatest thing ever, and then somewhere midway through the movie, the guy can't get it up anymore, and you're the producer, and you've paid all this money to bring Long Dong Silver in, or whoever it is. Yeah, that's disappointing. Seriously disappointing. It ruins the shoot for the day. And so now you got to send him off, make sure he gets good night's sleep, and you got to reshoot next day, and that's costing you money. But in fact, for us, it's costing us fans. So every time they're on the big stage, they need to perform. And by God, can we get some of this on actual real TV and not Paramount Plus or Fox? Remember when it was on ESPN and Fox, when people could watch it? And weren't the last games on Paramount?
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote my brother and said, the U.S. playing Panama. Brother's like, where? I'm like, Paramount Plus. He's like, I don't fucking get Paramount Plus. Fuck it. I'm not watching that shit. I'm not getting a subscription to Paramount Plus. Fuck you. Not fuck me. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Is what he was saying. Like, these games, it's something that MLS is figuring out. You want to get more of the casuals, like my brother involved, like my parents watching. I told my parents the game was on. And my mom's like, well, what channel? CBS? Paramount? She's like, Paramount? No. Don't got it. Not going there. No interest. Not getting it. Not subscribing for U.S. Soccer. Not even for Yellowstone. Okay. The other Yellowstones. So at some point, we got to figure out, you got to get this in front of as many eyeballs as possible. Paramount is not the answer. And I still can't stand when it's on Peacock or whatever, they're going to force me to listen to the Spanish broadcast. When I can see the broadcast, just give it to me in English. If I'm allowed to have the broadcast, already let me watch it in English too. Don't make me sign up for your plus plan so I can watch it in English. Fuck you. I can see it. I'm watching it, but I got to listen to it in Spanish. Well, if I can listen to it in Spanish, you might as well just grant me the courtesy of listening to it in English as well.
I think the issue there in the end is that Peacock may have had the Spanish speaking rights, whereas HBO, because that's the only thing you ever have to watch on Peacock in Spanish is when it's on HBO and TNT and that stuff.
So for the Americans who get the Peacock thing and are able to watch, now they've got to watch it in a foreign language they don't understand, where at least 80% of them don't understand it. What the fuck? What good is that? That's not bringing any shine to the light to the team either. Let's let them hear the broadcast in English. Quit making it so fucking hard. That's all I'm saying. Make it easy. We're getting up to the World Cup. We need to build the fucking... I mean, we don't want to watch. I'm actually glad that my parents and my brother and other casuals didn't get to see that disaster versus Panama and Canada. But I'm sure they heard about it if they checked. Right?
Yeah. So Lover mentions Paramount's worth the price. You get Serie A plus championship. Plus
I agree.
You end up getting USL now.
Okay.
Again,
but Brett Leverdad. Brett and Leverdad.
I'm just saying the price is worth it. I'm not saying everybody needs to get it.
For us, it's worth it.
Yeah.
For you, I, and Leverdad, that's worth it. My parents used to watch every U.S. men's national team game. They don't anymore. My brother used to watch my drummer in my band, Daniel, used to watch every U.S. men's national team game. They don't anymore because they're not getting a subscription to Paramount to fucking watch it. And whatever they throw this shit on down the line, I don't know exactly what the Gold Cup's going to be on. I hope it's a major channel. Probably Fox would be my guess. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But, it's not March Madness. It's not the Super Bowl. You can't fucking do this. You got to get people watching the games who just stumble upon the game, or there's nothing else to watch, and that's what's on TV, or they're actually mildly interested in U.S. soccer and would be willing to watch it if it were someplace they didn't have to go spend another subscription on. This is getting ridiculous. We're burying the sport, whether it be domestically or internationally, behind a paywall. It's not good. And it's not good. We are not good enough to be burying any of our shit behind a paywall. We should be begging the networks to put it on a major channel and promote the shit out of it. They're doing neither. They're neither promoting it or putting on a main channel. And we're building up to a fucking World Cup in less than a year. I mean, I don't know what we're doing here. I know it's all about money, money, money. You're so right, Starfish. But at some point, it's got to change. If we're the better of, unless you want, and people will buy tickets at the World Cup and they will show up, but the enthusiasm level for this team is going to be like lower than I've seen it ever, especially for a home World Cup. And I am going back to the point, walking around town, talking to my casual friends, talking to people at work, etc., who have absolutely zero clue about the U.S. soccer team. Zero. Whereas 6 years ago, they kind of knew a little bit. They knew in 2018, they kind of knew we fucked up and didn't qualify for the World Cup. Yeah, it's worse now than it ever has. People in England can't watch Premier League games unless they pay. It's true. People in England are completely committed to their fucking teams and will pay. And will pay.
That's not the case here, though, because the alternative is we're going to have to pay one way or another. Is the argument here? So you pay for the BBC, you pay for BBC or whatever to be able to watch not only that but other stuff as well. Or here in the stateside, you still have to pay. It's not like you get to watch it on free TV. It's not like it's on Fox 59 here in Indiana. Or
Oh, you're
like
paying either
you're still
way.
You're still paying for cable, or you're still paying for streaming. The problem is more people in this country still have cable, and you're going to get the fact that if you want to watch this game, you have to have HBO, or if you want to watch this game, you have to have Paramount. That's the problem with trying to convince people into our system here. Our current system.
I mean, it's crazy the number of channels I have paid for on the side. Yeah. You know, for soccer alone, for soccer.
I used to have to pay for Fox Soccer Channel. Yeah.
Peacock.
That was back in the day when there's really nothing available.
Peacock, Paramount. And I mean, I know we're sounding like we're old men shouting at the fucking clouds, but honestly, I'm thinking about a majority of the country who maybe they're all over the age of 40, but they're not going to get subscriptions.
You got to hand it to HBO at least, because I believe they stream between HBO or Max and TNT.
But TNT's another fuck force where you're like, how do I get TNT? Oh, I got to get
TNT's
HBO.
on your basic cable channel, Derek. That's what you're kind of talking about.
I don't think it is.
TNT, TBS are all, yes, they are, dude.
No. It's either TNT or TBS. I don't get it. And I got Xfinity. I don't get both. There's one of the two I don't get. And I believe what is the simultaneous broadcast on Peacock /NBC where they also play? Because, for instance, I couldn't watch the Crystal Palace game.
USA is the one where
okay. So
I
it's
can't watch,
USA.
like I couldn't watch, like, it was a lot of it was Leeds, for that matter, when I was watching when they're in the EPL. But yeah, I couldn't watch most of the Leeds game because they're always on USA. I had to wait for the replay to come 48 hours later.
I watch all the Leeds games on ESPN Plus and have no problem with it. I don't surprised you're having a problem with that.
With what? Sorry, with what?
I watch all the Leeds games live on ESPN Plus.
Now, yes, now I'm saying when they were in the EPL, and every time Leeds played a game, most of them were on. USA.
Oh yes, you're correct. Yep, they were on USA. Hard to watch except for after the fact, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of people will get that on basic. I have the sports package, and I don't get those channels. What does that say? Maybe I need to switch packages.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, TNT has basketball too, so I mean, I'm kind of surprised it's not listed as a quote-unquote sports package, but you still get the basic cable channels along with this sports package, yes?
I don't. Nope. I don't get USA. And
then
Xfinity's having this local battle with CBS, so we don't get that either. Anyhow, it is what it is. I don't want to get into the weeds anymore. It's just really frustrating to talk with my friends who are like, yeah, I heard about that game, but I couldn't watch it. It was on fucking Paramount. I'm not getting that. And I'm like, that's totally understandable. I get it. I'm not signing up for Paramount to watch a U.S. men's national team game. Not going to happen. So
it should be on NBC with it. But that's not Paramount. What? No.
Should be on a major channel. That's all I'm saying.
They all have their own network channels. They should be on a network channel as well as on the streaming service. I understand they want to push people to streaming, but quite frankly, people are losing money at streaming at this point.
Yeah.
So
it is what it is. I don't know in this transitional period, Brett, how we all work this out, but we're losing fans, just like MLS is losing viewers as well. Because, I mean, my brother would turn on an MLS game and as a casual and watch it. And then, like I said, he called me and said, how come the MLS, I never see them on TV anymore? I'm like, they're not. You got to get Apple unless you get the Sunday special game they do on Fox or whatever. Yeah, I haven't seen those either. Oh, okay. Well, you got to get Apple Plus, the MLS Pass. Fuck that. That's what he told me. I'm not doing that. I enjoy watching it when it's on and it's something I can watch because nothing else is on that I want to watch. Okay, fine. Well, we're not even getting that anymore. All right. Sorry. Probably too early into that discussion, but whatever. We got it over with.
Yeah. I think to the point that we talked about, like BBC, and you mentioned, obviously England, loves the sport, loves the team, or love-hate relationship. I'm sure there at times. Currently, I guess, but they're happy to pay for. Again, they're paying for a license that covers a bunch of other shit as well, TV shows, series.
And we're not. And my point was, we're not England, right? We're trying to still build the sport here. We're trying to get people enthusiastic. It was hilarious to me when Poach came out in Atlanta, and it was really obvious to me that like 70% of the crowd had no fucking clue who he even fucking was. They had and they weren't that enthusiastic about him being there. You watch the vids. It's like, they're cheering. It might as well be Macho Man Randy Savage. It wouldn't have been much. I think Macho Man Randy Savage would have got a bigger ovation, honestly. He really would have. Look at this. This is clap, slow clap shit. Whatever. Okay, you got the hammer.
Is this anybody in particular? Okay, this is MLS. I probably shouldn't be playing it like that.
Just roll through it like you usually do. Yeah. And the real question actually becomes, is this a stunt that wins over fans to pay attention to U.S. soccer? Was that the plan? Like, let's send him out here. Let's get him in front of the fans. Get them to know who he is. I'm sure it helped some who were like, who the fuck's this guy? I don't know who this guy is.
Look at this giant head right here. This is all AI. This isn't even real.
They're like, who is this dude? Okay, he's going to hit the hammer. That's cool. We like people who hit the hammer. I'm sure they announced it. This is Mauricio Pochettino. Tino. He is going to hit the giant prick with his hammerhead, head. And then he, did it. But
1, 2, 3. Bonk.
Yeah. Okay.
2, 3. Bonk.
And was he really there to scout anybody? I mean, who was he scouting? Lennon? Surely not Brad Guzan.
Our goalkeeping's in such dire straits that perhaps that is the case. Who knows?
All of this with the context that we know absolutely zero squat bullshit about Nathaniel Brown.
Say, I got Nathaniel Brown thing pull up here in a sec, but yeah, in a league, assuming that he's there to look at Guzan. In a league where
Brooks Lennon more likely, but
a younger, much younger by about half his age goalkeeper just shut out Messi and company. Chicago finally had Messi show up after three going on 3 years now.
A lot of fans.
Like 63K. Yeah. Yep. There was definitely some pink in that stadium.
Right.
No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But I saw a picture of Berhalter signing autographs, and he was signing a Messi jersey.
Well,
why would you do that to that?
To be fair to Poach, I'm sure this is all planned in advance. He was really only there to be at the U.S. men's national team facilities being built just outside of the stadium, not far from it. And he was there to meet up with staff there in the sort of right now pseudo-located staff that are there part-time. They're going to all fully move there, all of them soon. So he was kind of there for that, and he decided to show up in an Atlanta game. That's fine. I doubt he was scouting anybody at the game. The problem is, and if you're totally deaf tone at U.S. Soccer, which they there's no way they don't know this. But we're all saying Nathaniel Brown needs to be contacted, needs to be at least recognized. And then we had, all right. Yeah, he's a locked-in starter for third-place team of the Bundesliga, has 6 most contributions to the Bundesliga among U23 players, which is rather near here nor there, actually. I'm just interested how he stacks up in general. Has had good performances against Stuttgart, Leverkusen, Dortmund, and Leipzig. Yes, he did. Is being scouted by Man City. I guess he is.
Who isn't?
I mean, come on. Really? Atletico Madrid, maybe. They were there in person, so okay. Tottenham, West Ham. You're talking about teams that scout everybody, so saying he's being scouted is not a compelling argument. Is one of the most important players for the Germany U21s. Again, not a compelling argument. The other ones are is that he can play left wing, left mid, and left winger.
Yeah. I mean, how many people out there, how many youth players take any nationality that would excel at the youth level and then just don't amount to hill of beans?
Exactly. Lots of them.
That one of the most important players of German U21s. Cool, I guess.
Yeah. And can we stop calling him a left back? That's what I keep seeing over and fucking over. Yes, he can play left back. Yes, he has played left back for Frankfurt. Lately, he's been playing left mid, not left back. Has he also played left wing back? Yes, which means he can play left wing too. So there are several positions this guy has played for Frankfurt over the season. When they play 3 in the back, he plays his left wing back. When they play 4 in the back, he plays left midfield like he did this weekend, or the weekend before, I should say. So it's not like this guy can't play. He could play in a lot of different spots where we could use the extra depth. And the fact that we're not talking, I love this about this post. He says, at Cindy Cohn and at JD Batson. Yes. But according to Pete's contact, not somebody we're unfamiliar with as well, a contact we know as well. Yeah, sure. He's on their minds. He's on their minds. He's on their minds. Should be on the line is what he should be. And then for what's his face, God bless his soul because he follows us, and I hate crapping on people who follow us. To say that he prefers to play with Germany is an absolute bullshit assessment. Just because that's Kelvin. Dude, no offense, man. Your tweet fails to mention, he says he wants to play for Germany as first choice. No, he's never said that. Ever. Never said that. The only thing he has ever said is the common shit that he's been told to say. Right now, I'm focused in what's in front of me. I'm focused on Frankfurt, and I'm focused on playing for the Germany U21s.
Yeah.
And by the way, U.S. Soccer's never contacted me. So if I'm not focused on what's in front of me, that's what's in front of him. He can't focus on shit that's not in front of him. Nobody's called him. Why would he be focused on us?
Well, that's the thing. We're not saying that his first choice isn't Germany by any means. What we're saying is that they're the only ones who've reached out.
But he's never indicated. He's never indicated that his first choice is Germany. He just said, I'm focused on what's right in front of me. What's right in front of me is Frankfurt, the Germany U21s. That's what's in front of me. He's not apparently good enough to make the Germany U23s, but he's good enough to start for this team, frankly, right now. And if nobody's reached out to him and called him, and I'm getting sick of talking about it, frankly, all these preposterous these people who purport to cover the sport, who have the license to ask the question of Pochettino in press conferences, still have never asked him this question. Never even brought Nathaniel Brown up. Never brought him up. His name, nothing. And it's absurd at this point. We're getting to the point of absurd because the rest of us on X have brought it up so much at this point. It's ridiculous. And we don't need a detailed answer. We just need to hear this. Yes, either we have contacted him recently or we plan to contact him soon. Not we're going to contact him to see if we can suck his cock or rub his ball sack. Nobody's asking for that. All we want to know is give him a call and say, listen, we see what you're doing. We care. And all we want you to know is we care. That's it. We'd love to hear from you. Nothing else. Nothing else. And we can't even get that. That is so simple. That is the simplest thing any non-moron running the U.S. Soccer Federation or running the team could do to just quell the talk. Get it over with. No more talk. He has been contacted. We'll update you when we get there. Conversation over. It's over. We won't talk about it. Edgar won't talk about it. Pete won't talk about it. Tack won't talk about it. We'll all shut down because there's nothing more to talk about. He's been contacted, and we'll update you when we get there. How fucking hard is that? And yet these morons like Carlisle. Okay. Derek, reel it back. Don't want to offend reporters who have access to this team and the coach. Can't even ask him a basic question. It's just absolutely ridiculous at this point. Sorry, Brett. I'm irritated. You can tell.
Just let it go.
Oh, by the way, am I still glitching or did things get better?
No, you're still glitching.
God fucking damn it. You serious?
It looks like you've been drinking for like the last minute right now.
I have.
Serious question, Derek. We're almost an hour into the show, and we completely missed our beginning fluff. Do we postpone the fluff until Thursday?
Well, we can play one of them. Colin Reese, by the way, says your opinions are irrelevant. U.S. soccer doesn't need to kiss the ass of Levniks and tactical managers, so shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. Honestly.
A little nonchalantly, like, you shut the fuck up.
Nobody's talking about they need to fucking fluff us. Nobody wants us to be fluffed. We just want the fans to be heard. And way more than we said it, plenty of others are saying it. We're not the only ones saying it. So nobody cares. I could care less if we ever get any recognition or they ever respond to us at all. Could care a fuck less. Just do your job. Do your job. And I know you don't want to recruit Nathaniel Brown. I've heard your side of the argument. Okay? That's fine. That's your point of view. This is other people's point of views. And they disagree. All right.
Real quick, I know it's going to come up later on in the show during Yanks Abroad section, but how about Brian White? Look at that guy.
Brian White's a badass. We've been saying it here for a while. He's an MLS badass.
Yeah.
I don't know if he
moved up to the top of the charts for Golden Boot this year.
He's really moved up beyond all the other strikers in MLS right now, who are American, playing in the league. But we've been saying this about Brian White for a while. Yeah, is he the most skilled player ever? No. Is he the most, adept player? No. Is he a high IQ player who always knows where to be in the right place? Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. So if you're going to, suck up and take an MLS player right now, he's the MLS striker you should concern yourself with. Aubameyang's not having a great season in MLS, but he's a physical specimen, so not somebody to throw away lightly. But Brian White's been doing this a long time, and he's kind of like Wondolowski. He's kind of like the Wondolowski of today, if you had one.
Sure.
He's the most prolific American striker and regular goal scorer in the MLS for 3 seasons running. There's a reason people brought his name up. Now, do we need to get to the point where we need to use Brian White if Balogun's healthy and Pepe's healthy, and, you know, Haji Wright's healthy, and Sargent's healthy, probably not. But when have all those guys been healthy before? Not for a while. Not for a while.
So he's going to miss a chance from inside the 6 in a World Cup game? No, thanks.
Let's hope not. But I just want to make sure that as much as we realize that Brian White isn't Balogun, isn't Pepe, and isn't Sargent, it isn't Wright, Brian White deserves some proper props for what he's doing in MLS. Because no other striker who's an American has been doing it this long and with this much consistency. So like him or not, for the U.S. men's national team, you have to respect him as a player for being as consistent as he's been. And for fuck's sake, Vancouver are killing it this season. Along with, hate to give more props to people, you know, that you wouldn't think we would, but Sebastian Berhalter, that kid's one fucking hell of a player for Vancouver. Yep. I've now watched 4 Vancouver games in a row. I'm impressed.
I think I've seen 2 of them so far this season. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so there's just slight shine on some MLS players. Doesn't mean they're going to make the U.S. national team. But I do like the fact, since we have so few motherfuckers making an impact in MLS as far as scoring goals on a regular basis in our own domestic league, that when a few of them show up and shine, we probably should shine them a little, right? I'm not going to shit on. I'm not shitting on them. Oh, it's just MLS. No. They're doing really good in MLS because so few Americans are doing those kind of regular goal scoring, you know, I won't say dominant performances, but really highly respectable performances. Brian White's been doing it for a while, so props to him.
Yeah. Okay. I've put all of our fluff on hold for Thursday, except for one, and because the only reason is it'd be weird just to bring it randomly back up a couple days from now, because I know you chimed in on this as well. As it turns out, apparently eating steak is very much a white person's food. You're all welcome to indulge in our culture of eating steak. It's all right, but
Speaking of Brian White,
so Edgar's posting this nice tomahawk he's grilling out. Looks good.
Let's keep in mind that the guy that criticized this is from England, and probably doesn't have the dental wear to actually eat a steak.
Says this motherfucker wants to be white so bad.
Who the fuck are you, Yorkshire Pup UK? And where'd you come from? Whose ass did you crawl out of? And who's your dentist? That's all I want to know.
Sorry. As I told Edgar, I've gifted many steak passes over the years. I only require that you cook it to the proper temperature. Now, if you get one of my steak passes and you overcook your steak, I'm taking that pass back.
There you go.
No longer indulge on our white food.
White food.
Or white
so
food,
ridiculous. Yep.
Yeah. And here's the final product.
And look at how well Edgar knocks this out of the park. Look at that perfect piece of meat. That is delicious looking. With wonderful. The crust in the... Yeah. Look at how well he does this. Maybe more white people should figure out how to cook this just as good as Edgar does. Because they don't know how to cook steak. They're pathetic at it. Just ask a lot of white people who don't know how to cook steak at all. Some people like it well done. Some people don't know how to use a grill. Well, Edgar, who is of Hispanic or Latino background, knows his steak just fine.
Yeah.
And but I welcomed him to the Viking, although my white person credentials are probably questionable in some parts. I don't know if Hitler would accept me, but that's beyond it. That's beyond it. Beyond it.
Where you at? There you are.
Looks delicious. Sorry about you becoming white and all. That was new info to me. Did not know that was a thing. Yeah, hearing about it for the first time I saw. Well, my sincere welcome to the Viking camp. Hope that steak was delicious. Yeah. All right.
All right, yeah. Okay, moving on to some soccer topics. We're 50 minutes in, and we're just getting to soccer. No, we've been here before. So, let's see, we got a new future home of pro soccer in Buffalo, New York. Have you seen this yet?
Excellent. Oh, by the way, for the 171 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma, and give your stepsister a big wet kiss on the lips. All right, up pro soccer. Plans to build a new 7,600 seat stadium that's still underneath the 15,000 threshold. They're going to need to join USL Premier League. Near the Buffalo River, a project that will be a heartbeat of a growing entertainment district. I hope they are making plans so it is growable.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look here, you could expand on the back here if you removed the seating, the bench seating of this field back here. You could expand backwards.
Well, the other side too.
The corners.
Other side too could go higher.
Sure, they literally could just extend this up.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I hope they're keeping that in mind. They're going to need to add twice as many seats to qualify for Division I status through U.S. Soccer. And that's what all of them need to be thinking about right now. And I'm sure they're thinking we've got time, but I also hope they have a contingency plan. So when they do get promoted, they're like, yeah, fuck it. We can put those up in like 4 months. We'll be cool. 3 months. We'll be ready to go.
I wonder how much of a price difference it would have been to just make it a 15,000 seat.
Well, I think the real smart thing to do is get it to like 12, and then you only need to fill in the corners to get 13 or 15. Yeah.
Like, I mean, these sides could have gone up another couple rows. Actually, all of them could have gone up a couple rows. But as Lawless mentioned, he goes, "Hey, that's great. Where's the roof?"
Right. Well, I don't know how much this costs, but I'm probably gathering it's fairly inexpensive compared to what Indy 11 had proposed in downtown Indianapolis and what some of the other U.S. stadiums are costing. So they were thinking more around the 100 mil range. This looks like 60 mil.
I'm gonna say. I mean, I think more stadiums need to have the roof on, encompassing all the way up to the field level. Or, I mean, the opening top of the roof would be where the field would be. So you still have like actual weather and everything coming down there, rain, snow, all that stuff. But you still have a roof that encompasses at least the people.
Yes.
Because if this is anything like Chicago, man, that wind's gonna shoot right through here brutally. Now, if you had if it was just encompassing over the seats here, the little roof, that'd be so much better. Cut out these corners, fill it in.
Can we quickly look up what the stadium costs to build? I'm guessing 50 to 60 mil instead of 100 or 80 for a small little stadium like that.
Well, that's going to be a hassle to find.
I think AI could probably figure it out for you. It's okay.
It's also privately funded too, man. That's awesome.
I know. It's great. It's great. I'm sure they're going to have concerts there. I mean, not big ones. Well, you could fill the whole. You could put the stage on the field and then fill up the rest of the field with more fans. Get you like what, 12,000 there for a festival, a music festival. Obviously during the spring or summer, and not in fall and April in Buffalo. But Google Dolls.
I don't know if this is it or not. But Buffalo Pro Soccer plans to build a $10 million $10 million stadium.
Oh my God, that is cheap as fuck. Well, yeah, I guess 7,000. That makes some sense. That's pretty cheap. You put in 20 million and you build something for the future of USL.
Mm-hmm.
Pro Rel USL, right? Okay.
Yep. All right. Last show, I think it was Thursday's show. We talked about the Gold Cup draw. We went over our the 4 different groups and talked about how our group's faring, and felt like we had a pretty easy group as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So Lawless's group had went through the results of all against our head-to-head against all the opponents and came up with the record against them, every single one of them. So against Trinidad and Tobago, we're 22-4-5.
Okay.
It's kind of sad that 2 of those 5 losses happened within a short spell here.
2018, yeah.
And just recently, yeah. Saudi Arabia, we're actually up 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
Suck it. And we are actually down on Haiti. Haiti's actually beating us in the record.
I think most of those losses happened in the 70s.
I was going to say the 50s and 60s and 70s.
Yeah. Right. Even though we had their best player for a while, Joe Gaetjens, though. All right.
It's a fun little stat.
I mean,
who do you think is going to give us the biggest problem in this group?
Saudi Arabia, by far.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia's U17 team just beat Japan.
That's awesome.
So I think, Saudi Arabia's always been kind of tough. They've been tough. They're tough.
I think I know somebody who predicted that win against Japan. Weston McKennie, and he won a hefty price tag on the betting.
Oh, so he's betting, yeah.
Well,
that's small betting, but
I mean, yeah. So the Italian Federation or whatever, they're out to investigate 12 football players, and apparently it's like the site that they're making these bets on or playing online poker is owned and operated by like a Serie D referee or something like that. Somebody's talking about that. I don't know if that's accurate or not. But Weston got pulled into this because he's I don't know if he's playing online poker or if he's betting on swimming or something like that. It is funny in its own right that the players are accused of using illegal platforms for online poker and betting, but not for football matches.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, online betting is just a no-go in Italy.
Yeah, I mean, playing
for
poker,
players, I guess I don't know.
Playing poker online shouldn't be illegal, but whatever.
I guess have so much money. Why would you play online? Just go to everybody's house, have a nice little gathering, play poker together.
Yeah, I'm not losing my mind over this, though.
You know what I'm losing my mind over? Why this is such a big fucking deal, and the maximum penalty if he's found guilty is going to be 250 fucking euro.
It shouldn't be a big deal.
Great.
Although I would like Weston not to be involved, but
it's always something, right? Outside of curfew, he's having parties during COVID. Now he's betting online.
Fucking Pulisic's sister, allegedly. And with a gangbang with John Brooks, allegedly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy. That actually got as big as it did on Twitter.
And by the way,
oh my god, I can't believe he's involved in something again. I'm like, yeah, but it's like a $250 fee. Who gives a rat's ass?
By the way, for Christian hawkers who stalk this show and send me private messages, that's what's called a joke. That's why we use the word allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Just like when he was a virgin, allegedly, that was a joke. So don't come at me privately, okay?
Well, I mean, obviously, our thumbnail was a joke, but I had to send it to Derek. I'm like, is this too iffy or just right? Pochettino hammered an ATL or whatever it was. I think it was.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going like, I don't think anybody's going to be care that much about it, but still.
Can you bring up that? Do you have that thumbnail? I think what's so great about it is that there's so many different levels of the thumbnail. It's one of the better ones because it's like hammered in what way? Is he drunk? Is he literally hammering? What does it say? I can't remember.
Hang on, pulling it up right now.
Poach hammered in Atlanta. Like, is he wasted?
He's We got the hammer. Like,
you fucking drunk. I'm gonna hammer.
There's a great game over here.
Hammered by the fans. Hammered by the fans on in the stadium, or hammered by his critics, on X and Twitter, hammered because he's drunk, hammered, it's just so many different ways of looking this. Really, I thought you covered all the different angles on that thumbnail. Really, you did.
Going for it. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, for the 179 of you here, make sure you
had a chance of saying 69. It's literally on my screen. It's saying 169 right now.
Yeah, sorry. It's always that way.
Yeah.
Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with Grandma. Thank you for joining us on both X and YouTube. I'm sorry if I'm freezing up tonight. Am I still freezing up, Brett?
Yeah, you're still freezing up. I'll come back to that super chat in just a second. But S27 goes, I bet Atlanta gave him a free drink or drink for free.
Probably.
That was a Miles Robinson joke, by the way.
All I got to say is fuck Xfinity straight in the ass right now. There's no reason on earth that I should be freezing up. Julian Viva, I really do feel like Pete right now. Every show he does is this. And
you're practically Meg status at this point.
I mean, we haven't had this problem for 2 years. I am so fucking calling them after this is over and yelling at a pre-recorded voice. All right, Julian Vivas for $4.99. Did you guys see what Pete said yesterday on the stream? It looks like USSF will try to have Brown for the World Cup. Listen, what Pete said, and I'm well aware of where he got that information, is, and he well knows it too, and he said so, complete conjecture and just hoping for the best. If Nathaniel Brown gets called up for the Gold Cup, fantastic. But I would not hold your fucking collective breaths on that one. I really wouldn't. We have seen no evidence of contact. We've seen no evidence that we care. All we've seen is evidence that there's been no contact. So,
well, I mean, hell, the only evidence we have is an interview that Brown did. I don't know if it was with Build or Kicker or whatever, but where he basically back in October, November, where he talks about not having any contact with U.S. Soccer Federation at all or post.
That's correct. Yes,
that's the last time we've heard about it.
And since not a single dumb motherfucker who has access to U.S. men's national team has asked the question, just asked it. Asked the question. We have no update on it except for our behind-the-scenes people who are really good at giving us some information about scheduling and, who might be called up, who's already been on the 60. I mean, we just not getting anything about Nathaniel Brown. Nobody's got dick squat. Nobody. That's sad. That Pete's inside guy, listen. The point is that we don't know anything at all. And that's the sad, sad story. And the fact that Pete got the same shit we got doesn't make it any better. That he's going to maybe be at Gold Cup. Okay, great. Maybe he will. But maybe isn't what I want to hear right now, especially the way we're playing. And with the deficits we have when there are just a few guys injured. And the fact that Poach's scouts are going fucking all over looking at MLS players. Yeah. And we don't get a list of the players that they go visit in Europe. We don't get a list of those. We just get a list of the MLS teams through Doug fucking McIntyre. No offense, Doug. I'm sure you do fuck on occasion, so no offense to you at all. I'm sure you have been fucking Doug McIntyre before, actively. I'm assuming. Not calling you a virgin. So I think we're good. I think we're good here. I think we know what we got in front of us, which is a whole lot of nothing. We don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to have to wait and sit here and just wait to see what happens. All right, the Yanks Abroad report. I'm going to give you letter grades for all these guys, too.
Yeah. Oh, Derek, you there?
Okay, am I back?
You're back.
Am I still freezing?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yeah, your audio is fine.
Audio's fine, but I'm stone cold stuck, huh?
A little bit, periodically. Let's go through
Yeah.
Yanks Abroad before you die again.
Fuck Xfinity in the ass. All right. Sargent went 46 in a limp dick 46 for Norwich, and another embarrassing loss. Koleosho, that was against Burnley, by the way. Just leveling it out for people. Sargent played in the game because they gave him a rest for a half. Koleosho couldn't even get his dick out of his pants. All right?
I mean, in fairness, Burnley are the better team here. But
true, but at the same time, Norwich should be actually know that this is it. They got to go for it.
Well, there's no chance in hell at this point.
No, at this point, they're dead. That, I think, cut them off. I think
they are 10 points out from the bottom playoff spot.
Right. But that was against Koleosho, who everybody wanted to fluff. And, we didn't have anything against him, but we always warned you guys, don't get too excited about this guy. And he can't even play anymore for a championship team. He rode Pine for 90. He's not injured. Siabatu came back, P-Fuck, and went 46 in a win for Reims. Kevin Paredes is still diddling himself for Wolfsburg on the sidelines, so he didn't play, but he was in the 18. Pulisic had a mildly good game, as well the whole team did. Finally, watching AC Milan wasn't like me wanting to stab an ice pick through my fucking skull. And they played well, and they won the game, and Pulisic got an assist, and rightfully Musa sat for 90. Griffin Yao got a goal to tie the game with his buddy Reynolds there at Westerlo. And good for them. And then we had Jasson with 20 minutes for Bay versus Amon. You might remember Amon, who got 20 minutes for Lingby, but he scored a goal. Amon. Remember that guy? People used to care about that guy. Dietz went 90 and Green 88 for Greuther Fürth in a tie. They sit below mid-table this season. Not a great year for Greuther Fürth. Green injured in spots of the season, so was Dietz. Downs did not dress, still injured from his jacking off injury, and then the eventual surgery that had to come because of his jerking off injury. He's got big lumber, they say.
And you can't crack the Guinness Book of World Records unless you practice at it. So,
dude's got some serious lumber, sprained and broke his wrist jerking off. So Downs should be back soon. He goes one-handed, Fred. He's not a double-hander. He's a single-hander. That's where his fault was. He needed to go two-handed. He needed the support of that right hand. Instead, he went all left because it feels like somebody else is doing it, and he broke his wrist. He's got the surgery. He should be back, hopefully soon. God damn it, dude. It's a wrist injury. Go play soccer. All right? We need you, Dominic.
And your brother, Damien.
Damien. All right, Novakovic in the 18 for Bari. Yeah, lowly Syria B. Novakovic can't really figure out how to get regular minutes for Bari these days. Yeah, we called them up once. They sit 8th in the league. That was against Kevin Lund.
You're catching all of them. You're catching all of them today.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fuck it. Kevin Lund, who went 90 minutes in that loss versus Bari. They now sit 7th. Fuck it, his name's Kevin. I don't care. Get used to it. Joe Corona.
Bimmy's a few seconds behind us because I'm waiting for some Kevin Lund news. There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Joe Corona, 12 minutes for Tijuana and their win. in Mexico. Keith Pierre in the lower leagues in the Netherlands, 90 minutes for Excelsior. They sit second in the table. Good for them.
Oh, look at them.
Zach Booth got a whole 20-minute clicks there. Zach, good for you, buddy. Not as many minutes as we thought you were going to get when you
the second division in Holland.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Justin Hawkins went 73 in a loss for Emmen. They currently sit 7th in that Dutch second division. So more than just a couple guys playing down there. On Saturday, Chris Richards scored a goal for Crystal Palace. I couldn't fucking watch it, so I had to watch the highlights because those bastards at USA don't allow me to watch it.
Just go on. You can watch it on replay.
No, it's not on replay list yet. For a Peacock, not up there yet.
Huh.
Yep, I went there today. Still not up there. So he got a goal, but then they got their asses handed to them, and not that he was personally, well, for one of them, he was kind of blameable on the highlights. But anyhow, Matt Turner has been replaced as a backup goalkeeper with another backup goalkeeper. And I did not see any record of him pulling a left testicle, having herpes, or chlamydia. So I don't know why he's out and been replaced. Probably because he's on loan.
Yeah,
and they're like, it's the end of the fucking season, dude. We're moving on. We got to start testing the other dude on occasion. Brendan Aronson went 80 whole minutes, but that's probably because James was out, more than likely, because his spot had been taken over by Nanto, who tackles Noto? It's Nanto. It is Nanto. If I'm wrong, let me know. I watched a whole season of Nanto, and I'm pretty sure that's how his name's pronounced. No offense to Tack. We all get names wrong. Brett gets them wrong, 50% of the time.
That's my shtick.
Yeah. So, but
lead back on top of the table.
Yeah, exactly. I imagine when James comes back, if Nanto goes back into that 10 spot, we'll see if Aronson's still playing. But I think he played well enough to keep his spot. We'll see. Gooch, 6 minutes for Stoke. Horvath, 90 minutes, and another loss for relegation-bound Cardiff. They sit 22nd out of 24 teams. Hey, Horvath, you ready to go play some games in League One in England?
Say, and that's an upgrade.
In Liga, yeah. Aiden Morris, 90 minutes and a loss. Yeah, tough one there. DK, though, got some extra time minutes versus Wiley's Watford. Wiley playing really well in his game so far for Watford. Not really, bringing him the result they want. They lost, but he's playing pretty good. Balogun, 20 minutes and a win. Maloney in the 18 for Mainz didn't play. Okay, well, you went to the wrong team, dude. A, they don't play your position. 2, you haven't convinced them you're a center back, so you went to the wrong team. Even though that was the team we recommended he go to. We blew that one, Brett. All right, so I'm sorry.
Well, it still may have been the only and best viable option for him.
Mm-hmm. Leonard, we apologize that you listened to us. We apologize. Scally, 90 minutes and a loss. Again, Scally did Scally things. He wasn't really responsible for the loss. No, Kai Banks is in the 19, didn't play for Augsburg. Tolkien, 90 minutes. Okay, this is a standout game. I did watch versus St. Pauli. Obviously, Sands is injured. He didn't play for St. Pauli. Tolkien was by far one of the best players on the entire pitch. I watched the game. I did not expect that from him, but he was the best player or one of the best players on the pitch. So good for you, John Tolkien. I was impressed. You're probably still going to get relegated, but good playing. Cole Campbell, injured. Reyna, fucked in the ass. Might as well leave now. Can't.
Well, yeah. Real quick on the Reyna thread. I know we talked about this and how Dortmund has offered Gio the ability to go look for a new club right now.
Yeah.
And U.S. men's national team only is bringing back the rumors of different clubs from Spain, Italy, and France that are reportedly interested, including Syria. Let me rephrase that. Giants, Inter Milan.
Yeah, come on.
Well, good friend of the U.S. men's national team. Yanks Abroad said, hey, breaking, Gio Reyna has said yes to Inter Milan. Problem is, Inter Milan didn't ask him anything.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to Inter Milan, people.
Nor should he.
And he won't. So when you see stuff like that, just pull down your fucking drawers and take a big shit on it and move on. Because that's not what's going to happen here. He's probably worth about $6 million now. And he'll be going to a much smaller team than probably any of those. And you know what?
Needs to.
If a big team does drop $6 million on him, well, I wouldn't expect him to play right away. Or maybe if he goes to Inter and ever, maybe very little. Because it's just not, unless he gets the perfect coach for him, who sees his brilliance as a CAM, finds him the right place to play on the team. Like, there's so many things, so many stars need to align for that to happen. And Gio Reyna right now, if we're talking about Star Wars, when the first one where the junk machine starts to come together and push all the junk together and they're all trapped in there.
A trash compactor?
Yes. Yeah. Right now, it doesn't look like there's rescue mode available, right? I don't think R2-D2 is going to come up and save him. He's going to have to jump out early and find somebody who, a lower team that's willing to invest in him and commits to playing him. Busio, 85. Hey, here's the thing. Busio went 85. They got a win. For Venezia, they now sit 19th instead of 20th, and they're only 2 points behind Lecce.
They're technically 18th.
Yeah, so there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance.
There is a chance that they could get out of this. It's remotely possible. Very remotely, but what the hell? All right. I don't know if Busio deserves to call up there, Fumar. Have you watched him this season so far? For Venezia, he's been at best. Now, his teammates are also so that doesn't help him. But it's not been good. He's also lost his starting spot a couple times this season.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Busio is who everyone pretends Testament is. They are so far from each other as players. Busio's way more mobile. He's smaller, less physical. Testament's a larger mammal, bigger man, doesn't move so good, slower. Yeah, it's kind of hard to compare those two because they're not going to really be asked to play. I wouldn't ask Busio to play a holding mid spot in a 4-2-3-1. I could ask Testament to do that. He's a good defender. Busio, less a good defender. So there's all kinds of mix and match there. All right? That's all I'm saying. They're not really comparable like for like. McKennie, 67 minutes. And Weah 23 in a win for Juventus. Juventus actually played okay, so I didn't have to stab myself with an ice pick in the skull. But I will say, both McKennie, although McKennie had a couple bright moments and a couple bad ones, it's not when I show up to watch American players play in a big game what I'm hoping for. I was not enthused. I was not impressed. It was role player shit. I think Weah had some moments too, but in his 20 minutes or so plus. But yeah, I'm not breaking out any big drinks for that. Sahir Al-Islam in the 18 for St. Truden. He lost his spot after he got injured, and somebody else took his spot. And since he's got back healthy, they're not giving him his spot back because the guy that got his spot when he got injured played better than he did. Ledesma, 90. Decent. Tillman, another goal in 63 minutes and a win. Yeah, but it was against the worst team. Not to discount his goal, it was against the worst team in the Dutch First Division. Of course, Dest taking a break, and Pepe's still injured. Bello, 90 minutes for Lask in their win, along with Adinarin, who got 13 minutes. Quincy Butler for Tirol in Austria, 75 minutes with an assist and a win. Caden, I didn't stick.
Casanova was asking if Tillman left with an injury, though, didn't he?
No.
That's good.
He's fine. Told Sean I didn't stick around to figure out what happened there, but I know he started for Sassuolo, who are first in Italy's second division, Serie B. Kate Cal, boy, is this whole thing at Chivas falling apart fast. In the 18, didn't play again. Played the other week, didn't do good. It's like stop and start for him. John Hilton, this is for the second division as well in the Netherlands for Dordrecht. We've been talking about Dordrecht a lot this season because there's 3 Americans on Dordrecht. John Hilton, 63 minutes. Lawson Sunderland, 30 minutes and assist. In that win, they sit 4th out of 20 teams in the promotion zone, at least, in the second division in Netherlands. Josh Pinnedath got 28. So all 3 Americans played. CCV got a rocker of a 40-yard goal. That's really great. I'm not busting out any loop for it. I'm happy for him. But, yeah, I mean, it's Scotland. It's nice, but it's a flukish goal. He'll probably never score another one like that in his life. But cheers for him. I do want it for him. For the 204 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with grandma, and give your stepsister a big wet kiss. Trusty in the 18, by the way, who just had his baby, which is why he was kind of given relief duty in this game.
Him, Testman just had one. I mean, we want to track back the point of conception and see if that the U.S. may have won something at that point.
I don't know. But, yeah, good for him. Beautiful baby for Trusty. But he had been awake for a couple days, and so they just gave him a break and said, you'll just sit the sideline. We'll let Scales play, and that's what happened. Conrad's back from injury. Yeah, Conrad de la Fuente, who got 30 minutes in that loss for Lausanne. Yeah, Lausanne going backwards in fucking Switzerland for a team that Conrad can't even start for. Really? Can't start for Lausanne in Switzerland? You're a bench player? Okay. He was a bench player before he got injured, by the way. Henri Chase is injured. Let's just make that really clear. People are like, oh, he never gets to play for Stuttgart anymore. No, he's been injured for about a month. Tessman, as you said, got 5 minutes. Not even worth mentioning for PSG. Nathaniel Brown got a rest. It was officially a rest, a break. He's been starting almost every game this season for Frankfurt. He then came in and played 30 minutes and got an assist. And Frankfurt won the game. And they sit third in the fucking table in the Bundesliga, and you wouldn't know that anybody at U.S. Soccer knew about him. Like, he might as well be a fucking ghost. Johnny Cardoso played
real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Labrador says, it takes 9 months to have a child, Brett. What have we won in the last 9 months? I said, LOL. That puts us right around the Copa Flame out. Berhalter out?
There we go. Johnny Cardoso with a relatively unmarked 71 minutes for Betis. Marlon Fassi with another mostly okay 90 minutes for Standard Liège. Maurice Malone, 90 minutes for Vienna in a loss. Didn't score, hasn't been scoring for a little while, Maurice Malone there in Austria for you Maurice Malone lovers. Puxas, I saw he wasn't even starting for what's-his-face, and I said, fuck it, I don't care anymore, and left. Paxton Aronson, 86 minutes in a win for Utrecht. And you know what? He played CAM this time. So they've moved him back to the middle and in a more advanced role. For Utrecht, they looked more aggressive, and I like it. Castaneda, 63 minutes, but then he got a red card for Paderborn in their loss in the 2 Bundesliga. That 19-year-old kid. EPB in the 18 for Panathinaikos in Greece. In the 18. Yeah, you want to kill off your career? Move to Greece. Jonathan Gomez did not dress. Okay. He's in Greece too. Same problem. However, Jonathan Klinsmann went 90 minutes in a tie versus Sena, and they sit 9th out of 20 teams. They've been dropping lately. A lot of ties for that team. Alex Mendez, your homeboy, at Juarez is in the 18 along with Benny Diaz. But as usual, Mendez and Diaz don't get to play. They only get to watch from the stands or from the dugout. Fernando Arce, 26 minutes for Puebla in a loss. Frankie Amaya, also a bystander in the 18 for Toluca. Zendejas got 90 minutes in a tie for America. Hey, an American that actually plays. And then today, we saw Adams going 90 minutes in a win versus Jedi in a heartbreaking loss for Fulham, where they were putting a lot of pressure on. Jedi had a so-so game, had some moments, but kind of so-so.
A lot. I mean, people are talking about a specific play in that match, which I didn't get to watch. I just all of a sudden I came across these clips of Tyler Adams getting in on a tackle.
That was badass.
And
you told him, get the fuck up.
The guy starts bitching, complaining to the ref, and Adam looks down at him and goes, "Shut the fuck up. Motherfucker."
He said shit before that too.
Shut up.
Shut up and shut up.
Shut up. So there's a nice photo of Adams. He got a new haircut after this match. Have you seen this yet?
Oh my god, really? Why?
Oh yeah. He turns into a badass, that's why.
Oh, nah. There's no point in that. That'd be so non-Adams. That's like totally not who Adams is as a person. He'll never do that. Never, ever, ever, ever.
No, of course not. No chance.
Yeah. Haji Wright went 89 in a tie, back out to playing left wing, by the way, instead of on top for Coventry City. Galagos and Matthew Hoppe. Matthew Hoppe did not dress for Sonderjiski. Galagos is in the 18, did not play. And then Miljevic went 90 minutes in a win for Huracan in Argentina's top division. They currently sit second. He's one of their best players and consistent starters. Say what you will about him, he's kicking ass in Argentina. So, we said things about him, like maybe he shouldn't be there. Well, that dude's got a pair of balls the size of bowling balls, so maybe he should at this point because we need some balls, and he's got a pair. And then in MLS, this will be short. There weren't a whole lot of American contributors this weekend in MLS. You had Venezuela got a goal for Cincy. Brian White got quadruple goals for Vancouver. Good for him. Manuel Sabi for Vancouver got a goal and an assist. Muskowski got a goal for Seattle. Lovitz got a goal for Nashville. Mihailovic, no. What is that? Cole Bassett got an assist for the Rapids. Mihailovic got a goal. Luca De La Torre got a goal for San Diego. Isn't it amazing that all of a sudden Luca De La Torre moves to MLS and he's a goal scorer and an assister? Couldn't do that over in Europe. And Arson got an assist for Columbus. And that's it. That is the Yanks Abroad. We are done with the Yanks Abroad.
Okay.
But we will take questions about it and comments about it. Call up LTD. I just don't know where he fits in right now with Poach. I don't know.
What if Sabi gets called? Yeah. Okay.
I doubt it. We're just being real with you. I doubt it very seriously.
I felt like Poch and his team were very deliberate with the teams that they went to go scout. So I think we can pretty much look at those teams and assume that there may be some call-ups from those teams, like very specific players.
And then maybe not. I don't know. All we know is that for sure he liked Arston. For sure he likes what's his face
Luna.
from Houston and Luna. So
McGlynn. You said that guy from Houston's like shit. Who the fuck's from Houston? But then I forgot that McGlynn got traded. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, Colin asked, "Are you gonna let Luna start?" I mean, I would, because Randa don't play. Tillman's just back from injury, and okay, yeah, he's doing fine. But neither of those two guys showed me the big balls that I need to see. But also, you know what? The passing ability and some skills and the freedom to run. I know that Tillman has skills, and I know Reyna has big skills, but Luna's bringing big balls, and that gives him that bonus. Because if you look at the skill thing and you're like, okay, they're close skill-wise, maybe Reyna's the most skilled of the three, then there's Tillman, but they're all kind of close together. But then the ball meter, the big ball meter puts you above the other two guys. You got to go with the big balls and the big heart and the chip guy, because he may not be as good as Reyna for a lot of people. He may not be as good as Tillman for a lot of other people. Doesn't matter. Bigger balls.
I'll say I wouldn't be surprised if somebody from the midfield gets left off and Miljevic does get included, quite frankly.
Colin Reese, quit saying it's not about balls. It is about balls. When all things considered equal, talent-wise, it becomes about guts, will, want. That matters. I want a guy who gives a shit and goes 100% and gives it all. So don't tell me that Luna gets it just because of his skills. Okay, fine. If that's all you want to give him, just his skill. But look at the way he played, and look at the heart he poured into it. Look at the chip he brought to the table. That gives you bonus points, brother. Bonus points. Bonus points. That's what you're missing. Bonus points count. He gets bonus points.
Bonus.
All right.
Well, Derek, that covers all the shit that I've got. But it was
shorter than normal, but you know what? We got through it. And I think generally
a boner points.
Boner points. No, we're not missing. We're not missing the point that he plays really fast and it's hard to defend. No one's missing that. No one is missing that. The point is that people are giving him extra points for being not only a baller, but for fucking giving a shit and pouring his heart into the game. You should be willing to see that because it's so obvious on the field. Obvious. That's obvious. We're basically, this is semantics at this point. You're only willing to give him this, but we're giving him this and this. That's different.
Johnny for two says Urkel Adams is my hero. Johnny, I'd say that you coined this phrase.
Urkel.
I think it was during the Canada match actually, and I don't think I've laughed at anything you've posted as hard as I did for that. That was by far your best one.
As for the Lack of Sack Award this weekend, I had a really hard time finding a Lack of Sack Award winner because nobody played like a total cunt. Nobody played like a total flaccid penis this weekend. You could give the award to people who've been such and already been awarded the award, and thus they are not going to get much playing time anymore. But I don't know if you're going to see that award given.
I'd agree with Anthony here. That's good. Save the award. I think if we give it so willy nilly every week, and we have to look for somebody to
you got to earn it.
It no longer holds the merit to really indicate this guy played like shit every week.
Right, and it's not like I thought there would be a bad guy playing every week and that we'd be able to give this award every week. So we're not going to give it when there isn't somebody to give it to. Right? That would not be fair. I could not find a lack of sack guy this weekend. And so we're not giving it. But boy, if there is somebody, we will give it. We're not going to hesitate to give it. Perhaps the biggest semi-lack of sack movement that happened this weekend was Poch hammering a big pin in and Atlanta for absolutely no reason at all, driving absolutely zero interest to the U.S. men's national team with a crowd of 70-80% who had no idea who he is. And U.S. soccer, they'll always get a lack of sack award for their marketing because right now, as we stand, nobody gives 2 fucks about the U.S. soccer team as we head into the World Cup. And, you could also say, well, they have nothing to market. What are they going to market? The Nations League debacle? How do you market that? Yeah, I agree. Hard to market that. Are you going to put out an ad about how all our great players play in great teams in Europe? That'll go over like a lead balloon too. They're like, yeah, great. They play great for their European teams. When they come and play for us, they play like a fucking bunch of limp dicks. So they're kind of in a rough spot. I think you would agree, Brett, marketing right now. How are they going to market this team? How do you market this team?
Gonna need to put in a good performance this summer, put it that way.
There you go. You can't. If Brett just said that, you can't market this team right now. There's nothing to market. Will you make a commercial with Christian Pulisic and McKennie in it? Well, they just fell flat on their face in the last games against Panama and Canada. How the hell are you going to market that?
I mean, I think people are not necessarily looking at friendly by friendly because again, the Jamaica Nations League Jamaica window was good, but you had the Copa failure followed up by mediocre performances, some good performances, but then flaming out of Nations League. Getting 4th in the end. After having run the competition for the last 3 years, so it's it's the World Cup. People are still going to show. People are still going to watch it. It's just the hype and the hysteria that usually follows the team as we get nearer and nearer to a World Cup. It's buzzing down.
So someone said the Pulley documentary, and then somebody said Pulley is flaccid. Yeah, I've watched the whole Pulisic documentary, and so when I came up through what I was doing with me, and I became an unwilling at first lead band member, I hated it. I am, believe it or not, I'm an introvert who converted into an extrovert because of my experiences in life. I was a recluse, but because of music, I was forced to be extroverted. Like, go on stage and fucking put on a show, dick face. Don't just stand there. Put a show on. And then that happened later in my life after my book. And it certainly happened when we started Indy 11. And there are so many other experiences that forced me out of my shell. At some point, you got to accept it. I did. Instead of saying, no, I don't want to do that, which is what I used to say. No, I don't want to do that. Hey, city council wants you to come in front of them and do a report on endangered historical properties. I don't really want to do that. I don't want to get up in front of the city council and, that sounds like nerve-wracking. I'd rather just sit here in my own place and write music. No, You can't do that. I finally decided to start saying yes to everything. Yes. Do you want to be a leader? Yes. Do you want to be president of Bloomington Restorations? Yes. Do you want to stand up for the city council? Yes. Do you want to be a member and work for the city government? Yes. You got to start saying yes, and then you need to own it. And if that means after you own all those things and become the leader that you never were before, that you need to go home and have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 hours on your own to recuperate because you're not a natural extrovert, because that saps a lot of energy out of you, then go do that. But you can't continue. People say he can't change. I can tell you introverts can change. Introverts can become something that, look at me, I'm a raging asshole now. I never used to be like this, ever. I was a quiet, secluded person who didn't speak out about anything. But then I decided, I'm coming out of my shell. We're going to have this show on Big Soccer. I'm coming out. I've decided, fuck all that. I'm going to take my 2 or 3 hours I need every day to be alone and recuperate. But you can come out of that. Not everybody can, but a lot of people can. And so he needs to do that. He needs to grip some inner gonads and grip them hard and say, I'm going for it. And I'm going to start saying yes to being a leader and being more extroverted and not talking like a robot when I get interviewed. Say some shit on occasion that's thoughtful. Don't be a robot. All right, that might be a lot to expect. There are people saying, like Henri, that Pulisic should just accept him for who he is. He's not a leader. He's not like that. He's never going to be that. That's bullshit. People change. People, they evolve. They mature. They embrace things. They start saying yes, is what I'm saying. All right, U.S. Soccer could market it as a team redemption arc. They could. They're going to have to.
As Fimar mentioned today, remember the Redeem Team?
Yeah.
The Redeem Team.
Might have to market it as that. That's all we got right now. So, all right. And here we go. Colin Reese. Pulisic plays soccer in front of 80K people. That's nothing to do with being a leader. Absolutely zero. Nothing. Nothing to being a leader. If you've not led a corporation, not led a major nonprofit, not had to monitor and lead 55 or 100 or 105 or in one case 1,000 people in a company, you don't know what that pressure is and how often that intrudes on your everyday wish to be an introvert. It's intrusive, but you got to push on because you are a leader because of your beliefs, and people believe in you. They believe what you're saying and they believe in your movement. You have to get on board and then be an introvert or an extrovert. That happened with the indie soccer thing. It was like another thing I added. Did I really want to be the president? No, I did not. I did not really want to, but in the heart of me said you need to be. And so when I got elected, I was. There are other things in my life were the same way. I didn't want to do it, but I told myself, say yes, go for it. You only live once. Stop being such a fucking recluse. Stop being such a fucking lone wolf. Life is about experiencing. You got to go do it, Derek. And I think Pulisic needs to get out of his shell, become a bigger leader, a bigger-hearted person, a person that's willing to stand up and talk like I'm talking now in front of his crew, saying we're not fucking settling for bullshit. I'm only settling for your best performance and doing it demonstratively. And that's not easy to do for everybody. So I'm not saying he's going to be able to do it, but that's what I would like to see. But we said the same thing about other players, Brett, Sargent, etc. Got to stand up at some point for yourself.
The only thing I'll say on this is one just doesn't have the ability to lead. It's not a you can improve upon leading, but there are definitely people who are naturally gifted at leading, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the best player on the pitch. Mm-hmm. So I think Pulisic's way of leading should be what he does on the pitch, not necessarily pulling guys together and let's go, hoorah, let's come on. Leave that. Quite frankly, I'm saying leave that to Adams. Adams is, I think personally, more of a that type of a leader to pull the team together, get them back in check, if you will, and let Pulisic be Pulisic on the pitch.
Here's the interesting thing. I'll give you 2 examples. Jermaine Jones is an introvert, but nobody became more extroverted and more loud in the U.S. men's national team locker room than him. Brooks, introvert. Dude took leadership when he was asked to. I could name a bunch more. Dempsey, introvert. Could be a leader in the locker room because he had a fiery temper. And when it got to him, he let it be known. Michael Bradley, introvert. Fucking could let it out when it needed to be let out, and he could take control and say shit needs to be done. There aren't a lot of extroverts on our team, McKennie being one of them. But I don't think McKennie is a leader.
No, I'm not saying the leader has to be an extrovert or an extra whatever.
Introvert. Yep.
I'm saying within that there are people that have that capability, and some people are leaders, some people are not leaders. And it's not saying that you have to be the best player on the pitch. You don't have to be the most vocal person on the pitch. You don't have to go and
different types of leadership
and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's. I think again, Adams would be a more vocal leader. I think Pulisic's leadership is best expressed when he's on the pitch playing his game and not trying to carry the team. That's my argument.
And it's kind of funny because Adams is a good example of an introvert who's willing to step out of the shell of being an introvert and being aggressive, and saying, I'm the guy and I'm willing to lead. But when he gets home, he just wants to be home. He's not interested in partying or being out there or, socializing like a ton. Shit. That's not his thing. But when it comes down to his team, he is willing to make that sacrifice and say, hey, I'll step up because I got some natural leadership skills. So we'll see what it comes down to in the end. But desperately, this team needs leadership. There's no doubt about that. And I'm not seeing anybody stepping up. And I think the real problem is that Tim Ream could be the leader of this team, but he's just too fucking old. And there's no guarantee he's going to make the team. But he could have been the natural leader of the team because he's a good balance of both. But because, he's too old, nobody even really knows if he's going to make the team going forward anyhow. So how are you going to anoint that guy leader, right? Yeah. And then, anyhow. This is very complicated. Yes, we carried on too long. We're going to call it a night.
Nope, hold on.
What?
Johnny for $2 says Tajon took Urkel Adams' manhood. He did. He completely he seated Adams in that match.
Oh, Buchanan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like the rules were reversed from the Fulham match compared to the Canada match because it was Adams who hit a brick wall.
Yeah.
But something needs to change, and it's a mental thing. Our players have the skills. They have the skills to be competitive. But there's something's not right.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Leadership on the player side is missing, and the chip. We're missing the chip. Got to have the chip, guys. You haven't proved dick squat. America, okay, great. You play at big teams in Europe, but look at us. We're no farther advanced than we were in 2002.
Yeah. And other countries have players that play in big clubs too, and yet they go back to the national team and they leave it all on the pitch and they play well. Hopefully for them, but
and sometimes they don't. We watched Italy and Germany go through a stage where they had good players, but they had no balls and no leadership. So that happens. And when you get into that funk, you got to figure out a way out. Sometimes that's a new manager, and sometimes that's somebody stepping up on the team that says, I don't accept this bullshit anymore. And I don't want you playing anymore because you suck and you're not giving it your all, or you're not bringing a chip to this game.
Do you think an issue is, a lot of these players did grow up together. They have played together for like the last 6 years or whatever. Do you think that they're all just too comfortable with each other to really step up and do that role? Would it take an outsider to come in?
I think you're right.
I'm going to use Miljevic as an example because I think he'd be one person that call people out on their shit. Just given the few instances I've seen him play and the stories we've heard, of course. I don't know how he is, but then again, would he find a starting role?
I don't know about starting, but certainly somebody needs to bring some leaders to the team, and I do think it would need to be a starter. The other thing that I find hilarious about what you just said is I watch so many foreign shows done by Brits who are like, it's such a young team that's never played together. They're just learning how to play. No, they fucking don't. They've been playing with each other since they were on youth teams, you fucking idiot. You fucking moron Brit doing some stupid thing about how U.S. soccer sucks. Okay, fine, but that's not an excuse. These guys, they don't suck because they just getting to know each other or just they're so young, they're getting to learn how to play together. These guys have been playing together on youth teams for fucking ever. So that's not an excuse you can give them. So do your fucking research, honestly. But yeah, hard to say who the leader's going to be. I don't see one right now. It isn't Pulisic. And if it isn't Pulisic, is it Adams? I don't know. Is it Jedi? Jedi's been captain of the Fulham team a number of times. Seems like he could be captain material too. But you usually, and you know this because you played on many teams, the captain is obvious. Fucking obvious who the captain of the team is, who the leader of the team is. And the fact is that it's not obvious with our team is a big problem. Or not obvious to Poach, at least. So, issue. All right. Okay. All right, we're done here. We'll be back on Thursday. I don't know what the fuck we're going to talk about. Something's coming out before then.
Might be another short show. This was going to be a short show. We had a nice little 25-minute segment there of that spawned out of nowhere.
I know. All right, we'll be back on Thursday. Until then, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma, and listen. If you're getting it on with your sister, make sure to start small. Use the pinky if necessary, and don't go jumping straight for the clitoris.
And remember, she's only human.
She is human. All right, we'll see you soon. We love you. Good night.
That hurt.
I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
So you want to just shove it in there. Start with the smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with the smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating ass, it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, it's a weird one, I think.
And I know you want me to touch your